So, chat, I hope you have your poyos ready because we have woofmasterarf here with Kirby Air Riders. Get going.
In a Discord server with friends, I called that due to the meme potential, Onigiri was gonna make a comeback from $0 to suddenly in the lead. I called that so hard. Anyways, welcome to Kirby Air Riders. As y'all just heard, the donation incentive is for what hat I'm going to be wearing throughout this run. This run is no dupes, which is where we go through all the time trials using a different machine and character for each map. Which is really interesting because this is a game where all the machines control radically differently from each other in terms of overall function, to the point where it's basically a different game. So just to reiterate one more time, Onigiri is in the lead, right?
That's correct. Onigiri is our winner with $77 total going for it from to Go Rescue.
So let me just, before I forget to actually put on the hat, there are a lot of hats in this game. I only put in a few so the bid war wouldn't be too crowded. This was the most recent one at the time of it being added. This was the Heart Springs in the poll, and some of these others have been added since. Like this one and this one, I think, are new since this one got added. But we are going to be going with the Onigiri. And normally I don't run this course first in the run. It's in-game time, so I can run it in whatever order I want, really. But because this is the most basic kind of vehicle, I think it's a good introduction to the run. This is the wheelie bike, which is the closest thing to a standard Mario Kart kart that there is in this game. So I think it's a good way to explain the overall mechanics of the game. This is Airtopia Ruins. As it implies, it's very aerial focused, although it's not necessarily. I'm already making mistakes. This is a hard game, so that is likely. Yeah, you're going to see that whenever I turn, instead of drifting, I build up a boost meter, which gives me a boost around corners. Boosting is very important in this game. You get boost for killing enemies, you get boost for hitting boost panels. Actually, there's no boost panels in the time trials, but that is in... Oh wait, there's that one. Bad timing for me to say that. There's not many boost panels. But in general, how different vehicles interact with a boost and turning changes a lot about how they play. Some barely even touch the ground. Some don't really turn at all. Some don't have a friction stat. So it's going to get very weird. You're also going to notice that with DeRoach, who is a kind of a more mid-weight character with well-rounded stats leaning a bit towards speed and maneuverability, he also has an automatic attack. This little claw swipe you're going to see right there, that is me making a mistake. A nice little way just for some characters to get in extra attacks and get some more range on their attacks. This is overall a very slow run of this map. I'm not used to having to explain this at the same time, and I'm a bit rusty. I've been playing more of the racing mode the past few days than time trials, and those skills do not transfer over as much as you would expect. But yeah. In general, this game is a very boost-heavy game. We're gonna get our first copy ability here. We could have... Needle is kind of nice, which we could have got earlier, but I like using the auto attack more here. I kind of messed up that turn, but the nice thing about ice is that you lose less speed when turning with ice, which is nice because it lets you just keep way more of your speed on big turns like that. That was a very slow time. I'm very bad with wheelie bike. I'm actually not as good as I would like to be in general. I think my practice has been inefficient. But I think in general, like I could have gotten under 2 minutes if I really grinded this out. And now that we're done with a very standard machine, we are going to go to Crystalline Fissure and use a very, very weird machine. Oh yeah, as you saw last race, there are custom vehicles in this game. Last race I raced on a Venipede. The Slick Star, it has the worst custom designs because you can't really see them that well in racing, but we're going to go on this neat little Pac-Man design. And I think it's very important that I concentrate a lot on this because Slick Star and Rocky are both very hard, but I'm going to try my best to explain. Slick Star is that vehicle I mentioned that doesn't really have a friction stat. So if you notice here, I'm going to start trying to turn here, and I kind of just kept sliding in the direction. I'm going to have to do a lot of brake pumping in order to steer. Which is just, I'm just kind of... If you play 200cc, you know what it is. But what you just saw there was boost storage, where I kind of held down my boost when going off that ramp, which let me save it in advance. Which is super important for a lot of vehicles, especially Slick Star, because what it lets you do is it lets you just get a way bigger boost after transition points or ramps. This is Sword, it's basically a really big auto attack, but back to the boost storage, that's probably my favorite tech. I know earlier I kind of mentioned how I like to transform Star in the interview. I think I've warmed up to boost storage now that I've been practicing a lot more. I'm still not good at it, but it's so cool because you can just go a lot really fast and make use of the stage geometry in a bunch of interesting ways. Oh, this is going to be Mike, which is just a giant AoE, good for getting a lot of speed from killing enemies. I'm having to explain so much here. I'm sorry if it's leaving no time for a lot of things. But yeah, Rocky has really good speed retention, which is a stat where you basically, you don't get a whole lot of your boost, but, so, hold up, need to concentrate. You keep your boost for a really long time. I messed up the boost storage there trying to concentrate. You keep the speed from your boost for longer, even if it's not necessarily the biggest. We don't really know how it works. Okay, I messed up quite a bit there. We don't really know how that stat works per se, because it's hidden, and there are some exceptions to the rule that high boost retention mean a smaller boost. And one of those exceptions is Slick Star. Slick Star on the ground gains a lot of speed from its boost, but it keeps them for a lot longer. So at the end of this rail, you're going to see we're going to go zooming because we are Rocky on the Slick Star. So their traits kind of just stack there. Also, it's not that relevant for this level, but a very important technique for Slick Star is snaking. Some vehicles can snake in this game, and it is a way to just keep your ground speed on straightaways without, like, slowing down as much. You can kind of snake back and forth Mario Kart DS style, and Slick Star is very good at it because that lack of friction means you don't really lose a lot of speed while you're doing it. I'm going to quickly explain this next character because this is a lot simpler. This is going to be Knuckle Joe Leo on Steam Gust. I don't think a lot of people have really explored this in No Dupes yet, but I think there's potential because a lot of vehicles that are good here on Steam Gust are very character specific, like rely on Rocky or Chef Kawasaki or Rick's handling. But Leo can just kind of work wherever, and Knuckle Joe is good on Leo, who is our first legendary machine. Legendary machines are really powerful machines unlocked via the story mode or achievements that you can't use in normal races, but you can use in time trials, and their placement in No Dupes is very important. And Leo has very good turning, very high acceleration, not good speed retention, but they have a really good auto attack, as well as good airspeed when they kind of jump. Like this. Okay, I was going for the ring there. That jump is a bit tricky. Yeah, in general, though, I think Leo is a lot simpler than the other characters, so once we finish this lap, I think it'd be a good time to go through any blurbs you want to read off. As I messed that up, I'm supposed to be trying to go for those blimps there because that's a lot faster. I have muscle memory from other vehicles, and I keep messing up the blimps with Leo lately. Yeah, if you got any blurbs to read off, that'd be a good time.
Yeah, I want to shout out the fact that we are at $577 total raised so far for Go Rescue Pet Adoption Center, but we need to hit 700 before the end of this run. I know that might seem like a big number, but we are, I can do some house math real quick, a little over $120 away, I think. So, here's your challenge, chat. I would like you to donate and Tell me, I don't know. Tell me your favorite. Tell me your favorite food that you think would make a good hat. I'd love to know that since we have a an
Onigiri?
onigiri hat. Yeah, I want to know what other foods you think should be made into hats. So exclamation mark donate. You do not need to assign your donation towards anything because every donation goes towards this milestone of unlocking our first bonus game.
Oh, accidentally hit a goalpost there. Quick question. You said $575, correct? Is what we're at?
577.
Okay, that. Are you sure Onigiri won then? Because last I heard it was at 0, and then like the top hat was at 100 or something like that.
No, it
And now it's-
definitely won. I double checked it. We had
Oh.
some incredibly generous donations at the last moment,
Yeah,
bringing it to $77 total versus top hat at 75.
Oh wait, I was getting confused with the calculation for the overall that incentive had made. Anyways, we're going to go straight into another legendary machine, this time on Marks, who has pretty good aerial speed, so it is time for the iconic Dragoon, which is like a buffed version of the Wingstar, aka it's the Wingstar, but I don't hate it. So, if you're noticing, I'm doing, even though I said I like to go in kind of like the order of the courses, starting with the retro tracks, I'm starting with a lot of the later courses, and the reason for that, okay, it's actually worth it for me to go back if I mess it up. Normally I reset a run if I miss that ramp, but I think it's worth it for me to go back, because just look at this airspeed, we're going 90 kilometers right now. Normally I also like to start my runs with some of the maps I need to practice a bit more. So, for example, I've been struggling a lot with Slick because it's hard, so normally I start with Crystalline Fissure. And Dragoon is so fast that it kind of causes some weird geometry jank with different parts of the level, like coming up here around a certain corner. Like, we might just get sent flying backwards here. Yep, which costs like a second and a half. I've been trying to practice to get past that. This is a very slow run of this level so far. Normally I'm aiming for around 147. My PB with Marks is 147.36 on this map. But yeah, we're just gonna try to kill this enemy. We're fast enough to where we can just kind of go through some of the enemies. And you'll notice I'm gonna be slightly tilting down sometimes if I don't think it's gonna cause me to hit the ground. And the reason for that is it's generally slightly faster. You gain more speed if you kind of dive a little bit. I did not intend to get that Cappy. But yeah, no, I'm happy the Onigiri won, because that's kind of a meme pick. Like, I know there's someone who really liked it, but it's like, that's like a one option I put that wasn't the hat, and I know there's some speedrunner out there who's really happy. I forget who it was. I saw them post about it months ago. I tried to figure out today who it was. Oh yeah, I accidentally hit the geysers there. Geysers are generally very bad to get hit by. Yeah, this is going to be the last of this game's new courses for a while, because we are going to immediately go into the retro courses, starting with Fantasy Meadows, which, fun fact, the people in the racing part of this game scene just sort into Ohio, because that's easier to complain. It's quicker and easier to type your complaints about this map in. This map is not fun in racing. It is probably the worst map for racing. This is one of my favorite custom machine combinations, just Metagross Bull Tank. I made a new route earlier today that I think officially routed this out of the run, which is unfortunate because I really do like Bull Tank, but it's not a good machine, which is part of the reason I'm using it here, because this is the shortest map in the game, so you don't lose much time going for Bull Tank. I messed up a boost there. I am not playing well today. Yeah,
Would a donation make you feel better?
Yes, please.
Well, we have some opinions on foods that would make a great hat. $25 from KLMode, who says, a stack of frosted donuts would be a great hat. I agree. Also, that got us to over $600 raised. We have less than $100 to go to get that bonus game. Keep donating, chat.
Yeah. Anyways, Kirby's a generally slow character. He's probably the slowest character I have in a run still. In terms of the characters that, like, some slower characters have, like, specific uses on certain machines, and those machines are fast, which kind of makes up for it. Like, we're going to get to Cappy. Cappy is stupid on certain machines. But Kirby is generally pretty slow, and Tank is a very fast machine who normally likes fast characters. So it's kind of a bit iffy using them here, but it works. If you notice, Tank is the heaviest vehicle in the game. It can kind of just mow through enemies. And importantly, it turns like a tank. It turns at those very weird angles. And now we're going to have a character who can't really turn at all. We're going to be playing as Sakurai's Edgy DDD OC on a portal turret, also known as the Formula Star, which is the drag racing vehicle. This thing cannot turn. Like, it can turn, but very, very minorly, and it is very fast with slow acceleration, which is important to note because Noir DDD is the only character who has both a positive speed value and a positive acceleration value. A lot of our turning here, we're going to try to get the most out of our ice as we can. I used to do this in the routing, but it's been a couple months since I did this here. I've been experimenting with putting this elsewhere. I just routed this back in a couple days ago because there's a new crazy world record for this map here. This is officially the fastest possible combination on this map, which is kind of crazy given the fact that Rocket and Slick dominate like every map. Okay, we went so fast there that we're gonna try to just make that corner by just smashing into it, basically. Yeah, this map, despite all its curves, is functionally kind of a lie. It is functionally just a drag race. A very precise drag race, but functionally a drag race nonetheless. And we're gonna try to grab this enemy up here. I missed it because I'm not used to turning yet. This is a very slow pace so far. That's fine.
We have more food hat opinions when you got a moment.
Gladly, because I feel the rest of this race is going to be pretty automated.
All right. We have $5 from Final Flame, who says, I got Doritos in front of me, so why not a Dorito hat? I think that could work. What do you think?
That could work. I remember once when I hosted for a Doritos Loco speedrun, whatever the Xbox 360 game is, I remember in the middle of that run, I set the speedrun.com page as my Windows wallpaper for like 3 years because that was just good. So next is my least favorite part of the speedrun because I just don't... Something about Wingstar as well as this map don't click with me. Oh, we're also coming up to the first custom design I made. Here's 4 amazing designs, and then here's my attempt at Rune Factory 4's Ventus Will, if anyone's familiar with that game. I couldn't get enough detail to do a face, so I just went with a color scheme. Yeah, Starman is the character who has the highest lift, like, best air turning, best ability to, like, stay in the air. And Wingstar is like that, but a vehicle. So our goal on Sky Sands is just stay in the air. And somehow this map has so much geometry jank that you feel like you're getting geometry janked even when you're above the geometry. Like that. This is very slow so far. I've hit like 5 things. Something about this has not clicked with me. This has been good. I got confused with Shadowstar routing. I've been playing a lot of Shadowstar lately. And there's a boost panel there and free runs. And that messed me up. You're gonna see what I'm supposed to do there on the next map. Yeah, I'm very bad at Sky Sands. I'm very bad at Wingstar. And I really wish I could just find something else to put here, because what you're experiencing is, honestly, I should put this at the beginning of my routes, because a lot of my runs die here from me doing stuff like this. I am horrible at Sky Sands. It is the map I am the worst at, and it is not close. So yeah, we're going to open up this path, and then we're just going to use that to get liftoff. In the world record route, they managed to maintain their lift for a lot longer from beforehand, and they don't even need to do that because they're already in the air. There's some weird tech involved with that. Yeah, that is... Normally, I would have reset for like a 124. But like I'm bad at this map. It is I don't like Wingstar and I don't like Sky Sands. Next up is Frozen Hillside, which is another map I'm bad at, but I like it a lot more. We're going to be playing as Lolo and Lalala on Key Warp Star, which is not as basic of a vehicle as people would suggest. But it is very good at being used for custom machines. It's probably the best for custom designs because it's such a simple canvas to work on. So Warp Star is generally well-rounded, good flight, good speed, good all that stuff. And it also has good speed retention. You're gonna notice there, I often turn a bit before I start boosting. And the reason for that is you lose less speed when you're like sideways while turning, which is also the basis for how snaking works in this game. And some vehicles use it more than others, but there's some parts on this map where thanks to the ice, we're going to be doing some like real proper snaking. Shake, do a quick spin to break that ice. But yeah, a good time here would be under 130, but I am not good at this map. This game is hard. Like, I make a lot of the stuff in this game look like magic compared to, like, casual play. But then you actually, like, look at, like, what the world record is in this category, or, like, any of the good time trials, and it looks magic in comparison to what I'm doing. I kind of forgot to grab the right copy abilities during that entire spiel. I was supposed to have another ice there to freeze all those things. But let's not forget to get this one. Yeah, Warp Star at least is very basic, very good for customs. We're going to be seeing a few designs made by me. I am not good at the custom designs. I mean, the one you saw before was just basically a paint job. But there's going to be, I think, three more designs we're going to see that are made by me. And I'm excited because two of them I'm proud of. One I'm not. One is like okay, but it's like the worst machine. I take back what I said about Slick Star earlier. When we get to Transform Star is the worst to make custom designs for, just because it's frustrating. Magma Flows. You're gonna notice a pattern here. I'm worst at the retro maps. So we're gonna be going Meta Knight on the Paper Star here, which is another good machine for custom designs. I like this Adeline one though, because it is a very, very good piece of art. People make I've seen multiple recreations of the Mona Lisa. Which is impressive, because you could only use up to 20 pieces for like the entirety of like the art. Yeah, there's a slight ramp there we could get off. We're gonna quick spin here to get a... Okay, there's a much harder ramp to get off there that I miss. I get that like one every like 20 times. No, not 120. I meant 20%, like whatever. 1 in 5 basically. And it's a bit rough. Yeah, the Paper Star is a decently fast aerial machine, most known for how good it controls in the air. There's another spot where I was trying to get liftoff here. I used to use Jetstar here, which was my favorite vehicle, but Sakurai decided to nerf it so hard, I'm surprised he didn't nerf its name as well. Yeah, this vehicle is relatively self-explanatory, and this map is basically just get into the air, use Meta Knight's high flight speed, and don't miss a ramp boost like that. So let me know if you got any more blurbs to read off.
Yeah, and we do in fact have some new things to talk about. We have a new bidware that just opened to determine whether we're going to save or kill Miles Dyson in the opening run for tomorrow, Terminator 2D No Fate. With your donations, you'll get to decide the fate of Miles Dyson, the inventor of the microprocessor that doomed humanity to a global extermination event because his invention turned sentient. Are we going to be merciful, or is he past redemption? You can, of course, donate towards that. We also have a target that just opened for Ghostland Yard for an Apocalypse World 1 showcase. We're going to take this precision platformer and turn it up to 1,000 for the showcase of Apocalypse World 1. It will show off some of the most difficult levels in the game that some might call impossible, but King J is going to speed through it in just under 7 minutes. We need $75 to meet that. It's going to close at the end of Ghostland Yard. And so when you donate, you have to assign your donation towards that incentive. And of course, all donations are going towards getting us that bonus game. So get those donations in, select that bid or that incentive, and let's get more Noga unlocked.
I really like this Kid Icarus Uprising Wagon Star. I'm so glad Wagon is another good one for customization, because I think Wagon Star is my least favorite vehicle. Because its entire thing is that it doesn't really have it has really good stats, but the trade-off is it doesn't interact with the rest of the game. Like, if you notice here, I don't get any boost charge when I'm turning. Like, it just doesn't interact with the core mechanic of the game, and the only character I enjoy it on is Taranza here, who can use webs to sling himself around. Taranza has a lot of, like, weird good stuff here because of that. Like, for example, he's one of the only characters who wants to get grabbed by that, because he can use his webs to go around here, like, a lot faster than other characters can. Normally, it is a lot slower to get caught by that thing. Yeah, this map is a very simple map, and one I used to dislike, but then I started maining a character in races who's good, a vehicle in races that's good here, and suddenly my opinion has changed, now that I'm being carried on this map. This map is basically nothing but these types of rails. We're going to want to get rid of our fire here and hope we can grab this. Yeah, depending on our cycle, we might be able to grab that bomb enemy, which we can use to blow up a lot of enemies and get some more speed after the fact. I missed it on the first lap, but you generally want to go for that rail. Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of Taranza. Not a big fan of Wagon Star, but Taranza on Wagon Star is alright. I think next is Machine Passage, which, fun fact, this route is not a route I currently use. It's just a route I currently use I'm not as used to yet. And I'm not really sure what I want to do on Machine Passage, because Machine Passage is a course that is very, like, a lot of random machines are good here. I'm going to be trying out Magalore on the Turbo Star here. I no longer use Turbo Star on this map in my current route. And previously I used to use this on Floria, which we'll get to. But Turbo Star is another weird vehicle because it has a spin-out mechanic. This vehicle can actually spin out if you turn too much, but the closer you get to spinning out, the faster your boost charge goes. And this vehicle has very good ability to actually keep its boost. But it's one of the weirdest ones to control, and it's probably the individual vehicle I'm worse at. If Sky Sands is the map I'm worst at, then Turbo Star, as cool as it is the vehicle I'm worst at. Like, I was practicing earlier today, and I was getting, like, 137 times. It's like, that is not good for a relatively fast character like Magalore. Which, Magalore is kind of one of my dump characters, in a way, because, don't get me wrong, Magalore is good, but one of his big strengths does not exist in time trials. One of his big strengths is these star trails that players leave behind, as like a drafting mechanic. Magalore gets a bigger speed boost from. Okay, yeah, this is rough time. And, like, that doesn't exist in this. So instead what you have is kind of like someone comparable to DeRoach in terms of speed, but with worse handling and better, like, aerial game. Like a better aerial game DeRoach with worse handling. Which isn't bad, you know. Magalore used to be pretty good on Jet. But it is a bit weird. Oh yeah, also when he gets a perfect landing, he leaves behind those little spikes. A perfect landing is just when you land, like, flat. with enough speed. Magolor leaves that behind, which can sometimes cause interesting things to happen. So I kind of bounce off that wall there at an awkward angle. You get a lot of weird jank with Turbo Star. I could probably, if I really committed to practicing Turbo Star in this map, I could get that to probably like 125 probably with Magolor, or maybe 127, I guess. But I kind of want to mess around with Tank Star. You can see there in my most recent PV, I was messing around with Kirby Tank Star earlier. Next two maps are interesting because they both use very similar machines, so I'm just going to explain them both at once. The Bulk Star has a gas mechanic, as well as the legendary Hydra. The gas mechanic is basically, instead of like charging up a boost, you charge up a gas meter, and the more gas you have, the more you accelerate up to max speed. But you also like sometimes just slow down really quickly if you don't have enough gas. Like, I sometimes just eat shit on this corner, so I'm actually gonna just be careful around it. Like, I actually got very close to going down to 0 miles an hour and having to re-accelerate. Yeah, you're gonna notice me boosting a lot around corners just to, like, get that extra couple frames in of maintaining my boost. Just getting a little bit extra gas. I believe the yellow and blue rails are the fastest. A really good speedrunner named Lokila, who speedruns with my preferred racing main, Susie Shadow, does that, like, mention that to me. I don't know if that's true, I haven't tested it, but I'll trust them on that because they are a lot better at this game than me. Susie's Shadow is a very hard combination to the point where even though I technically main it, I do better with vehicles I don't even play. But yeah, we're gonna, despite appearances, this thing actually gets quite a lot of lift. As you saw, we went off a ramp there and made a pretty good jump. Yeah, we're low on gas, so let's try to fix that. Take that corner a bit slowly because I don't want to hit it. Yeah, this is just a really interesting vehicle. It's also considered very easy in races, and I find it a bit awkward in time trials. And next course, feel free to read or say whatever you want next course, because it is basically a significantly easier version of this, because the Hydra, which we'll be piloting with Cappy, is just this, but it goes at the highest possible speed the game can register constantly. It just gets up to max speed constantly. We're going to turn one of the longest maps in the game into a 30-second auto-scroller.
I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, it makes the worst map in the game fun. I've actually grinded out speedruns for that map. I have my PB is 32.76 seconds, I believe. But yeah, Cappy is like a lightest weight character in the game, so I'm just going to get that explanation out of the way. He's like a lightest weight character in the game with the best acceleration and the fastest charging. So when unlike Bulk Star, which is relatively quick in terms of its charging, we are going to have to specifically set still for a moment and charge up with Hydra, the fastest of the legendary machines. Some people like to slide forward during this, as in literally everyone except me, but I found myself getting good times by just focusing on the charging instead of doing what they do. Some people slide forward and kind of spam the boost a bit. I just get to the charge I want, and once we get up to max speed, I'm gonna start spamming it in order to keep my fuel up, because it's gonna be hard to maintain fuel the entire race. But feel free to explain what you want.
Yeah, I want to remind folks that we have until the end of this Kirby Air Riders run, which has been phenomenal and so much fun to watch. But we have until the end of this run to reach $700 raised for Go Rescue Pet Adoption Center, so that we can see that bonus game. Again, if you missed the announcement of what that bonus game is, it is Super Mario World, going to be done hitless by Troy. I know Troy is super excited about that run. I am super excited about it. I know you all are in for such a treat when we get that unlocked. Not if, but when, because I believe in you, chat. exclamation mark, donate in the chat. We are $93 away. I believe in all of you. Let's get that met.
A bit weird, but I've been changing my route so much lately, I'm actually having to look and remember what I use here.
It just gives us more time to look at the Onigiri hat.
Yeah, especially on GUI. Oh, so on the route I was telling myself I was gonna use Turbo here. It's fine, I'll just swap some things around, because I've been messing around with Turbo and Battle Chariot on a lot of the same maps. This is a Midna-themed Battle Chariot. Kind of hard to see from here, but I like it a lot. But yeah, Battle Chariot is way better in City Trial than it is in races. It's kind of like Bull Tank, where I could see it getting phased out of a run at some point, but I like it here with GUI, who is... I treat GUI as my budget Chef Kawasaki, because you're going to see I have a pretty long tongue, which gives me way bigger range. Although it's harder to inhale multiple things at once. And the range on Floria can sometimes be nice. GUI doesn't have as high of range as Chef Kawasaki. I meant to grab that thing. And that. But yeah, Battle Chariot is like Chariot, which is a decently turning vehicle, but slow. But if the Chariot was fast. And had enough weight to just kind of run things over. But yeah, I've been experimenting all day today while watching the other marathons. Everyone's been running so good. For a moment, I thought I didn't get that Plasma at first. Plasma is hard to use properly on some maps, so on this map it's real simple. You just gotta charge up with that meter over time. And you build up a giant shot of Plasma. I quickly discarded my ability there to get another sword. That way I could have a sword in time for this part. Yeah, I'm not losing a lot of speed by hitting those enemies, and because GUI can't really absorb multiple enemies at once, sometimes it is nice just to hit things. Considering I felt like I raced pretty bad, I think that was a pretty good time. This is actually, if there's any course you would use Battle Chariot on, I think it is this. Battle Chariot's pretty good here. And next up is another one of my custom designs on a map and vehicle I'm not good with. But we are using the top tier, we are using Rick. Yes, everybody, everyone's favorite hamster is a top tier because he is the heavyweight with the best maneuverability relative to weight, and we are going to be pairing him with the Rex Wheelie, including this Kirby Squeak Squad theme design. It's Spinny from Squeak Squad. I worked very hard on this, and I'm very happy with it.
Ooh, I love it.
It's kind of hard to see good lighting from here, but the lighting looks better in the actual racing. So Rex Wheelie is like... What if we took a wheelie bike from earlier and turned it into a T-Rex? And it controls like 1-2. It's really fast, really good speed retention, can't turn, really bad acceleration. It's gonna take us a long time to get up to speed here, and we're gonna have to turn way early. And this is a map with a lot of twists and turns, so it's kind of crazy that this is one of the faster vehicles, easily one of the best vehicles on this map. I'm not good at it. I only started learning Rex Wheelie like on this map recently. But my gold, you can still save like another 12 seconds off that. I mean, this is one of my best first laps so far, just because I got into the cannon so fast. But like, you can save another 5 seconds on me per lap in terms of getting to the cannon. That first section is really hard. Yeah, we actually turned so poorly that the quickest way for me to turn here is actually just smash into the wall and ideally hit those enemies after, but I didn't, so I didn't get as much speed as I would have wanted. But yeah, no, when things go right with Rex Wheelie, it feels so good. I was hoping to get more of a boost there. I kind of left the ground there, which is sometimes nice just for helping turn with Wheelie's large lack of turning ability. Yeah, I actually, my second preferred racing combo is Rocky on the Rex Wheelie. So if you don't believe in turning, but you do believe in going very fast, that's a combination for you. That is my second. That is like my secondary combination I like to use. I especially like it in retirement races, which are races with a health bar on. If you ever played F-Zero. If I was to compare this to any game, I would actually compare it more to Twisted Metal. I've never played Twisted Metal, but I've seen people compare it to that, and I kind of see it. Because it's a very violent racing game, and the most popular game mode is just combat. You know, sometimes I get to these tracks after, like, deep into my run, and I kind of forget that I already did these three, and it's like, oh, we don't have much left. Next up is Chef Rocket. I am not a big fan of Chef because I feel like it's just kind of... I don't like playing the range game. Chef has the biggest range of any character by far. To the point where he can sometimes grab things from completely separate areas of the track. And that pairs very well with trying to get chaining enemies together for a rocket, which has very good speed retention. This, along with Slick, has a lot of the speed records for various courses. But you're going to see here, we're going to go zooming here once we get that full charge. Spin around the corner because we're going so fast that it's quicker to just kind of bounce off it like that. Yeah, this is a section where I lose a lot of speed. Good rocket players go around that section so much faster than I do. Which is really unfortunate because this map is very cycle-based. Those lasers are cycles. The disappearing platforms we're going to be getting to in a moment are different cycles. The ending portion is cycles. Very cycle-based map. I'm going to see if we can get this plasma here. Yeah, this is a very bad run. This, along with Sky Sands, are where I lose the most of my time. Oh, I'm gonna have to ride rail same because I missed that bridge. I'm gonna just go around this slowly. Oh yeah, I didn't explain Cutter. You aim in one of 4 directions and it comes back, and a surprising amount of players better than me don't realize you can actually aim it, and that it isn't just like homing. Because it just kind of looks weird as you're moving. But yeah, you can aim it to your sides, in front, or in back, and it comes back. And I really like it for hitting enemies. Yeah, this section right here, I didn't get to explain it last lap. If I could stop messing up. It's a small section and a big section. The small section, you go less fast, but you can charge your boost way faster. For most vehicles, that is better. The large section, you go a lot faster, but it's way harder to turn around that section. Which comes with the caveat that if you are a vehicle that can maneuver that section, you get so much speed as you're leaving in there, because you have to decelerate back down to normal. You don't just instantly go back down. So you can keep that speed for a long time. Next is Transform Star, which is another one of my custom vehicles. We're going to be using DDD here, because DDD is just a generally fast character. Transform Star can swap between 2 different forms. I mentioned this in an interview. I used to main this vehicle. We're going to actually swap. We're going to keep it to this form for a moment, just to show off the good part of one of my custom character designs. It's supposed to be Adeline, but it's like impossible to do faces here. So I just kind of have like a paintbrush and a palette as just little symbols. You ask anyone, Transform Star sucks for custom designs. But yeah, Transform Star has a good turning, good accelerating bike form, so you always want to start with that. And it has a gliding form that can't really turn at all, but has good speed retention. So what you want to do is you want to cycle between them at just the right time to get the most out of your charge boosting, as well as just your enemy boost in general. I probably won't be going for that much here because it's very hard to do optimally, and I'm bad at doing it on this track. I have not been running Transform Star on this track for long.
Well, would you like a donation?
Yes, please.
Well, I'm very excited to say we are less than $50 away from unlocking that bonus game, thanks to $45 from an anonymous donor that says, "Let's go!"
I really hope we get there because I have a friend who's really excited for it. They donated $10 earlier. They couldn't spare much more, but they really want that bonus run to happen.
And that's okay. Every donation amount is valuable, even if it's just $5. The power of multiple people donating $5 is a lot. So get your donations in, no matter how much you can give. It's all going to a great cause.
So yeah, even though I'm bad, we're bad at this map. We're probably about to see we might see a decent use of the Transform Star here. Because those blue lines, that's just one solid boost. Like, that's a good demonstration of what I mean. I was boosting pretty much the entire beach there, even with my sloppy movement. But yeah, now we're on to the final map. My favorite map of the game, even if it is very unbalanced and uneven in terms of what works here. And we are going to be using, actually, my main in racing. We are going to be using Susie, a heavyweight with a propeller she can use to propel herself into the sky. And Shadow Star, another exception to the rule that's just because you get big boosts doesn't mean you have to have bad speed retention. Shadow Star gets really big boosts and it gets really good speed retention. And this is another custom design that I made. It's Adeline from that one scene in Kirby 64 where she's kind of like possessed by dark matter. And it is the first face I ever tried to make with the custom designs. And let me tell you, faces are difficult because you only have 20 parts to do the face. Like 20 parts to do the entire artwork. And I had to use 20 parts for the entire body, basically. I think it turned out okay. But yeah, I used to do this single route, but I have been using Noir formula for a while here, so I'm admittedly not that familiar with the routing. I just started doing this combination here again. I can tell you the race routing. I tried to grab that plasma there. Yeah, Noir formula would already be finished with this section by now. Noir formula is crazy fast here. Noir formula goes crazy on certain maps. We're going to see a bit of snaking here because we're going to grab an Ice Tank. And Shadow Star is one of the vehicles that already likes snaking. But with the Ice Tank here, pretty much anything can snake at this part of the map.
Oh, hey, real quick, we are $20 away from getting the bonus game.
Okay, and that y'all have less than a minute to do that. Go donate now. Go, go, go. That would be so excited. Time ends when the race ends. Once I cross that finish line. Yeah, we see the propeller in action there. We're gonna try to get some good boost storage here. Because Shadow Star gets good boost. Okay, we're gonna drop back down because I was about to land in a pit. So this is gonna be pretty precise, but we're gonna try to land on this and get the boost. Yeah, I was gonna try to land off it and go off the side and just fly through this section. But yeah, time is coming up in just a moment. At the end of this section, we are going to have a bunch of meteors hitting the ground. Those will give us a big boost of speed if we hit them. They are cycle-based. And time comes up in 3, 2, 1. There we go. I think that was a bit quicker. I think that was a bit quicker than my estimate. I gave a very generous estimate in case I played bad. And I played bad, but I gave like an hour estimate.
Oh, hey, well, you know what? It doesn't matter because we just hit $700 raised for Go Rescue Pet Adoption Center. So great timing. Chat raced you to the very end.
Yeah. For once, I'm happy to come last. my friend in another Discord server is going to be very happy to see that. I'm gonna quickly at them on that. Why am I
But
adding
while you
myself?
That's okay. Sometimes speedrunning gets us a little bit confused. If folks want to see more of you, where can they do that?
Well, admittedly, I used to stream more, but I found myself not streaming much. But you can check me out on twitch.tv/woofmasterarf. Occasionally, I might upload some more Kirby Air Riders content to my YouTube channel soon. I have ideas for that. But I'm in general not much of a streamer. I mostly just record my speedruns and upload them if I'm happy with them. But if you want to check me out, I might play some stuff every now and again on my Twitch at woofmasterarf. I would also like to give a shout out to the Kirby Air Rider speedrunning Discord. And if you like this game but find yourself unable to get matches on ranked, because no one outside of Japan plays ranked, join the Discord. I guarantee you there's like a ton of races happening on the Discord right now. The Discord is super active and a great resource. Whenever I ask for help with speedrunning, I actually ask in that server before I ask in the speedrun server, because there's just so many people there willing to help. Like, just so many helpful people in that server. Definitely check that out, and definitely check out this game. There's several other game modes you can speedrun. Like, or even just play normally. Like, I have like 500 hours in this game. I've never touched City Trial, and that's the one everyone loves. I have like 2 hours in it, but City Trial is amazing. And definitely stay tuned for that Hitless Mario World speedrun. That is going to be a very exciting run. I'm so happy we made that. Shoutouts to whatever king it was who donated at the last second and got us over, king or queen that got us over that finish line. Literally, good job.
Indeed, we love our donors here. But with that, everyone, we're going to take a real quick break. We'll be back in just a moment with more No Glitches Allowed. What an incredible run that was. So much fun. And you all, I was preparing to need to like encourage you to get to the very end there after the run finished, but you all raced me. You beat me to it. I would be upset, but also I can't be upset because that means we've raised over $700 for the fantastic Go Rescue Pet Adoption Center. So who can be mad about that? I do want to take a moment to thank the donations that got us to that milestone and beyond it. We have $28 from K. Alamote, who says, "Who up riding the air?" I think we all were. That was a great run. So much fun to watch. We have $20 to Go Rescue from Kuritas KRT, who says, "Super Mario World? Hitless?" Indeed. You're going to be seeing that in just a moment and once setup is finished. I have, don't worry. I understand you have questions about what this is going to look like. I also have questions. All I know is it's going to be fantastic. And we also have $20 from Ducksuck, who says Mario : 3. I don't know how to read that face. I almost said smiley face. That's not a smiley face. That's a :3. Thank you so much for that donation. And as a reminder, chat, we may have hit that milestone, but there's still more incentives that need to be met. There's still more no glitches allowed that you can unlock. Oh, hey, we also, if I'm reading this correctly, and production might have to correct me on this, but I am quite certain that we also met the Ghost Land Yard incentive with all of those donations. So thank you for that. As a reminder, we do have a bid war open for Terminator 2D No Fate. I'm sure we'll have more incentives opening soon as well. But thank you all for your donations. Every dollar amount is valuable, even if it's just $5. It's still going a long way to help them and their cause. A little bit about the history of Go Rescue Pet Adoption Center, if you don't know. In 2011, a local woman named Georgia Obanos lost her home, and her only focus became how to prevent her family dogs from going back to animal control. Starting out with just an empty shell of a building, Go Rescue soon became not just a place for her current rescues, but a shelter that has grown to rescue over 2,000 dogs to date with no signs of slowing down. And so there's a lot of expenses that go into running a shelter like this. And so even if you just have $5 to give, when we all put our $5 together, it goes a long way. So thank you to everyone who's donated. If you were able to donate, I encourage you to do so. !donate in the chat. Let's keep raising money for Go Rescue, and as well, keep unlocking more No Glitches Allowed. With that, we'll be back very shortly with our next run. So stand up, stretch, go hydrate. If you need to, go check your couch cushions for some more coins to donate, whatever you got to do. But don't go too far, because that Super Mario World hitless run is going to be ready in just a moment.